Here now with a big pharma survival guide is Les Funtleyder, pharmaceutical analyst at Miller Tabak. Jeff Kraws, senior pharmaceutical analyst at Crystal Resource Associates. We've got both these guys. And it's been a tough industry to cover, I guess, Jeff, over the last 5 or 6 years. You make the point that forward price to earnings multiple for the group, 14.7%, that's low, right?
14.7 times forward earnings is the lowest forward rate, lowest PE this industry has faced in the last 5 years, and that's providing an opportunity for people to step into select stocks.
All right, so you don't look at it that there's so many problems, that's where it should be. You look at it just purely that on a valuation basis, it hasn't been this cheap in a while, so something good is likely to happen. Is there any good signs behind this?
Well, yes. I think there's a lot of reasons to own pharmaceuticals. The industry is yielding 2.9% compared to the broad market, which is 1.8%. The companies out there, the large cap pharmas, have $29 billion in cash, expected to grow to almost $130 billion in cash over the next 5 years. They are very cash rich, very low in debt. People are going to continue taking their medications. They don't care about housing starts, gas prices, interest rates, etc. And there's a number of companies out there that are going to have strong double-digit earnings growth rates, including Merck, which I think pose very strong positions for people to step into stocks at this juncture, not to mention very strong generic companies like Bayer and Teva.
What do you think, Les?
I think that is true, but again, selectivity is the name of the game. I don't think you can buy just any drug stock. I would just add on to what Jeff said, is that if you talk to the contract research organizations who actually do the clinical trials, you're seeing almost record clinical activity. And so that augurs well for pipeline activity in the, let's say, the early part of next decade. And while it's, you can't tell what's in it, it's a numbers game, and the more, the better.
All right, so I mean, we sequenced the genome 5 years ago. These guys had lots of money 5 years ago. They I won't say squandered it on advertising and patent expiration, extension, and things like that. But just because they're spending money with CROs doesn't mean it's going to pan out.
True, but the difference between sequencing, sort of sequencing, and the high-throughput screening things they did weren't directly related to clinical. They were basic research.
All right.
Once you're in clinics, you're actually in humans.
What do you like?
So far, Merck.
You like Merck? Okay.
Number one. And I'm looking at Bristol and Novartis, maybe not in the next 3 months, but over the next year or so.
Bristol's controversial at this point. Did you like Merck at 25?
Yes. Well, actually, we liked Merck at 32.
Like Merck at 32?
We still like it.
You like Novartis. Jeff, what are your favorites?
Well, we like Novartis because of the generic play. We like Lilly and Johnson & Johnson and Merck. We have a sweet spot for Vertex and Bayer and Teva, I think, to take advantage of the generic plays out there. People still continue to try and substitute cheaper drugs where a superior drug is not available, and I would agree with Les. You've got to be selective. You've got to own a selective basket of stocks. People who want to play something for a dividend yield could own Pfizer for the 5% yield, but I don't see any other reason to own that stock at this juncture.
What if it's Hillary, Reid, and Pelosi and company, Les?
You definitely got a fair share of headline risk, but that's true of the entire healthcare industry. Certainly pricing, but as long as we don't go to a single payer system, there'll still be commercial pricing available to pharma companies.
Jeff?
It's the industry that invests the most in research and development of all the industries we have. It's the answer for the future. The elderly want to live longer and healthier lives. I think pharmaceuticals still are the right place to be.
No matter what happens in Washington.
Innovation in medicine. You haven't cured a major disease in 50 years.
Yeah, I know, but how are we going to have any innovation if we're, capping prices or?
Well, we're hoping that what has taken place right now with the pressure on drug pricing maintains, which is if you don't have a superior drug, you don't get superior pricing. And I think it's hard for Washington to argue for anything other than that.
Yeah, well.
Let's hope.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm that optimistic. Anyway, thank you, gentlemen. My thanks to Les Funtleyder and Jeff Kraws.